Okay, so this is one on how I made $38,328 in 30 days with AI models. Now, does that mean that I did that in just start from zero and then scale to that in 30 days? No, that's not what I mean, although I will cover how you can do that as well. But what I mean is one of our models has earned this amount in the last 30 days. And as you can see, it is in fact a bad month, not to flex. But I'm going to go through how exactly this process works, and if you're confused and you don't really know what AI OnlyFans models are, I'm going to go through exactly how you can get started with them and kind of how we handle our processes and how we are able to be in the top 0.07% of creators on FanView. So this is a business model which has the following. There is no humans needed for this other than obviously yourself, assuming that you are a human. Zero startup capital required. Yes, it helps with every business, of course, but you can start this business model from completely zero. Social media accounts are free. Some of the AI generation softwares, although they won't be great, are free. So there is a possibility that this is a zero startup capital required business model. Now, it's also one with location freedom. You do not have to be in a set location. You know, you can travel the world, fucking work from your phone as such if you wish. And you don't need any previous business experience. This is a completely kind of a different business model than any that I've worked in before, in that you don't actually need to be good at business to be good at this business. So, you know, you don't have to be the best marketer, the best salesman, nothing like this. You barely even have to understand the industry. And in fact, I barely understand artificial intelligence in itself. However, it's just one that, you know, it's kind of basic human psychology rather than business. For example, you probably follow some models on Instagram, so you can, you know, copy their patterns, etc. It's very, very basic stuff. So what is AI models? Now, AI models is a business model with untapped potential, meaning that it's only been around for a couple of years. Being one of the pioneers in this industry, we started 2 years ago now. So the AI technology available at that time is very, very basic and has increased massively. So it means that the technology available is very, very good for the stage the business is at, meaning that there's basically no one doing this. It is as simple as creating an AI girl, building her on social media, and then funneling her fan base to OnlyFans brackets FanView, because OnlyFans doesn't allow AI models, but I'm going to cover that in a future slide anyway. By the way, you can use your own ID on FanView and just sign up as an AI model, so it's fucking brilliant. And then you can continue to sell spicy content to her fans. And yes, people do buy this content. Do not get confused. If you've ever spoken to anyone who's bought OnlyFans content before, you will know how much of a fucking waste of oxygen they are, and they will spend money on anything. So the time to start this business is right now. This here is Itana. As you can see, you probably, if you have maybe come across AI models before, this is basically the staple mark for AI models. No, I don't own her or manage her, but she is the most famous AI model that I know of. The jazzy pink hair kind of gives her away every time. So how did I do it? Let's get into it. Just for reference, this here is a model called Grace. We use her as an example on this channel. We did launch her, and then we basically don't touch her anymore. We just have loads of content of her. So we use her as like a example in videos. So if you're wondering, you know, if I reference this model looks like this, it's just Grace. She's an example of a model which isn't active anymore. By the way, the reason why we only give away our inactive models, there's many reasons why you may want your models to stay anonymous. For one, mainly people trying to take models down, and also if you can just go onto my models and steal all my strategies, that is not ideal to post on YouTube either. So the model creation process, these are some of the things that you may want to factor into your model creation process. It can be as simple as just go onto an AI website and generate a model, which by the way we teach on this channel. If you're not sure, we have many videos on AI model creation on the channel already. So if you're at that basic stage, go check those out before. But you want to factor these into your AI creation method. So The hair color, very important. The hairstyle as well. These are kind of things that are going to factor into personality. Well, all of these are, but just an explanation. Think of someone with very short blue hair. You're probably thinking fucking feminist, weird bloke, or, you know, bloke woman thing. Whereas if you have long brunette hair, you can kind of get the idea that they're very feminine. So it can actually tell quite a lot about a person. Now, again, similar with the eyes, eye color. Choose wisely. Some people I've seen have chosen like bright fucking orange eyes and it looks fucking stupid, but at the same time, you don't really want these dull, like black, really robotic looking eyes. So you got to factor in eye color, because eye color can be a defining factor. Just like Aitana's pink hair, you could have a model with extremely blue eyes and they can look natural-ish, but something quite, you know, unique about them. Age, random old man here, but it's to show age. And body type, of course. Do you want to slim? Do you want to fucking fat? Do you want to be pregnant? Some people do. Is she rich? Has she grown up poor? Does she have money now? Probably not, because that's going to be one of your main excuses to kind of get money off guys. Is she into sport? Football's a great one, especially for UK-based models. Golf, a lot of rich men are into golf, so golf is something that you could consider as well. You know, what activities is he actually into? Is she innocent? That's what I meant by the angel picture here. Does she travel? Traveling's a great one for AI models, and I'll explain why. AI models can be anywhere at any time, because all you're doing is going onto an AI generation software. They don't have to catch a fucking flight like a real model. You can literally generate them next to the Eiffel Tower, and then 2 minutes later, she can be in the fucking Caribbean. There's no kind of there's no rules to where this model has to be, because she is AI generated. Where's she from? Of course. Is she Spanish and moved to the US? Is she from the US and just stayed in the US? It's kind of an important question to answer. Some guys are really into foreign girls. And obviously, you most likely want your girl to have some sort of attachment to either the US or UK, or maybe Europe in general. Mostly because if you have, let's say, an Indian model, she stays in India and she can't afford to travel, that's not exciting any guys, because she can't then go travel to wherever, the US, where all the rich customers are, for example, when you're kind of ruining their fantasy. And what does she do for a living? Is she a teacher? Does she not have a job? Does she do OnlyFans for a living? Also things to factor in. So here's the description of the model that we reached this benchmark with. This here is Grace again. However, the description I'm going to read out is very, very similar to Grace. But this is a picture of Grace, so please don't get confused and think this is the model. So she's blonde, slim, which are very, very basic characteristics. We have an advantage in this market since we have been in it for so long. So we can start up very basic models. However, do I recommend you start up a model that everyone starts up? No, I do recommend you differentiate yourself, even just a little bit. So blonde and slim is probably the most common kind of looks-wise that your model is going to be, right? Because everyone wants a blonde, slim model, because everyone assumes that everyone fancies blonde and slim models. Into football. Football's great for us. We're based in the UK. Football's huge here, and also people who are into football seem to spend a lot. They have bad habits, so yeah, we can obviously capitalize on that by getting them to subscribe to our pages. She's innocent. She's a student, and she's 18 years old. Now, as weird as it seems, the younger she is, the more kind of attention she's going to get. Can you make it younger than 18? Absolutely fucking not. But, you know, the younger the better, or the older the better. So if you're somewhere like 28 to 30, that's a really shit age, and I don't recommend you put that in any of your model's kind of descriptions. However, if you're 18 to 21, that's exciting. That's really young for, you know, an older guy who's going to have money to spend on these models. So, what kind of content do you start with? How much do you start with? So, you're going to want, and this is, well, okay, you're not going to want, this is what we started with. You're going to want probably a lot less, but also you can just be posting these along the way. You can create one fan view post after the other and essentially just build them up over time. However, this is what we get created before we actually even launch. So 50 fan view feed images. These are just pictures on the fan view feed. Nothing nude at all, other than maybe a couple pay-to-view pictures which people can purchase. However, this is going to ruin your sales process on the back end. So you don't want any nude in the fan view feed, because essentially the whole idea of the business model is to get people to message you, and that's where the main money comes from. And people won't message you for extra content if all that content is already on your feed, even if they have paid for a subscription. 5 fan view feed videos. These are important, and I'll go over why very soon. But essentially, you want them to see that you have videos on your page before they even sub. 30 Instagram images. This is quite basic. 30 reels, 120 story posts ready to go. I'm going to go over what they look like very soon. They're quite basic, so that does sound like a lot, but it's not really. 30 scenario images. This is what you use in your chatting and sales process, so don't be too intimidated or confused by what a scenario is. I go over that in many videos on the channel for free, so if you're unsure on the chatting kind of process, then we do cover that here. And 5 scenario pilot model videos, which will add on to the scenario images that we have going on. So that will leave you with 5 complete scripts with 7 pieces of content attached to those. So your fan view setup. How do you set up a fan view page? You're going to use your own ID. And the second thing is you're going to increase your like and post count. Again, just like I said on the previous slide, 50 images is ideal to have on that fan view feed. And then in terms of likes are very important, because they tell you that this model is, like a proven method. People have been on there and people have liked that content. So you want to try and get these likes as high as possible. We have like for like groups for those, so you can basically go on other people's models, like theirs, and they'll in return like yours. You want to aim for kind of 1,000 likes at least to launch. Not to launch, but in general to get the most conversions. Now your bio, your banner, your profile picture, this is obviously something that you need to sort out as well, and we will go over some of those now. Again, your IG setup, very similar: bio, banner, profile picture. I don't know why banner's there. You don't have a fucking banner on IG, but bio and profile picture. 12 plus posts. The reason for this is because if you're on a phone on Instagram, you can see up to 12 posts. Some phones see 9, some phones see 12 posts on an Instagram page. So 12 plus just makes the feed look cleaner. If you have like 5 and there's empty white spots, it looks ugly. It just, for some reason, doesn't look as good. And obviously a link in bio, that's the main important thing. Do not forget those. So advantages that we have and how we are able to kind of launch with more of a head start than you may have. Obviously, we have certain things in place because we've been doing this for years now. So we have connections at FanView, obviously makes the startup process easier, allows us to just make multiple accounts basically like that. Whereas you guys, if you wanted to launch freeform models, you probably have to go through a different process to us. Traffic, we obviously already have existing models that already have a fan base, so we can use that to our advantage and use their traffic for our new models as well to give them a little boost, which you guys probably do not have again. And a back-end sales team, we already have chatters in place. We have a full chatting team, which in fact, you guys can have this advantage as well, but not on launch. So we actually do have a chatting agency, which you can plug your models onto, considering they obviously, they do meet the criteria that we need for models on there. And also a large personal brand in the space, which makes it easier to get staff and make connections in the space with other models. And obviously, I'm assuming you guys do not have that either. So traffic to FanView, how do we start getting traffic to FanView? So essentially, we are going to do shout outs on our existing socials and FanView pages, obviously. This is something that you guys cannot apply yourselves. However, if you're wondering, well, this video is shit, it doesn't apply to me, there's shit tons of videos on this channel which explain how to get traffic into your accounts, so do not panic. This is just how we done it. So obviously we start off with shouting out our new model on existing models accounts, and obviously getting those accounts as active as possible so that we can justify chatters sitting on that account. Of course, they need some sort of traffic coming in, so we need to instantly start with some traffic on not only FanView but also socials as well, so that we can start with reels and get organic traffic in. And obviously this does include some IG promos, some shout for shouts with other models, stuff like that. So IG Reels Strat. This is kind of the main shebang of how you're going to market on Instagram. Some people just manage to market with posts, which is fine, but Reels we found really, really beneficial. Super easy, very, very quick virality when you're obviously doubling this up with paid growth, and super, super easy as well. At the moment, this is only taught to course students and obviously mentorship students as well, but the lowest level course students, we only teach this to them. We don't want this method getting saturated by posting it all over YouTube, but 2 to 3 reels a day is ideal for our models, and these videos can go super viral very, very quickly. This is kind of what your stories want to look like. They can literally be normal shit the girls post, and in fact they want to be that. You don't want to differentiate and post some weird stuff on your stories, or only post your current Instagram posts. It's good to post those because it's going to boost them, but only posting those is very suspicious. There's no real kind of personality behind that model, and there's nothing pulling people towards her. She's not got any interests in their mind. She's not showing off anything that's interesting. So anything from your dinner plate to the sunset, or if you're traveling, her nails, new shoes, fucking driving, hair, just general selfies, and obviously call to actions as well. That's kind of what you want your stories to look like. Very normal, nothing too different from what an actual female posts. Feed posts should look like this. Again, very normal stuff, but switch it up a bit. A lot of people will obviously go with the standard AI image. The model is middle frame of the image, and there's quite a boring background, and she's just staring straight at the camera. That's very, very AI now. Obviously, a couple of years ago, it was good to get an image that looked realistic, even if she was in that position. But you can have the most realistic image in the world, but for some reason, if you have an eye for artificial intelligence, you're going to be able to notice that it is AI just by looking at the position that model's in. So differentiate yourself. Learn how to actually generate decent pictures which aren't just straight up AI. These are actually real images, by the way. These aren't AI generated, so but we do have similar style of AI content. Now we have nice traffic coming in. Now a common question I get also is how many subs you get per day to justify a 24-hour chatting team, and we normally say around 10 per day coming in is enough to justify that 24-hour chatting team. The reason why you want a 24-hour chatting team on there is obviously so that even if your guys in Australia, your guys in Asia, your guys in fucking UK, your guys in USA, they're all getting attention if you have people on the account 24 hours a day. So you're not missing out on any sales ever, because you always have someone on the account to sell to customers. And obviously it's completely fine to have more than one chatter on there at a time as well. This is obviously when we start the real sales process. As soon as people start coming into the FanView at scale, this is when we can actually start printing cash, because as we know, people subscribe to OnlyFans and FanView and shit like this for that interaction with that model. So chatting is actually how we get interaction and how we get money in. Bang, there we go. Next slide tells you exactly that. So this is essentially what a chatting in stages should look like. So they sub, they get an automated message straight away come through. This is going to ideally ask for either their name, their location, or their age. Now this is because it's a question, they have to answer it. If it's just, I don't know, a nude image or something like this, something quite boring and they can't really interact with it, they're probably not going to reply. Whereas if it's a straight up question, which they feel like they have to answer, they're going to do so. You can add images, whatever, videos to make it interesting, but automated messages ask a question at the end of them. They reply. So Now you're going to want to get as much information out of them as possible about them. Once we know everything about them, so when we know when they're from, what they do for a living, what their name is, how old they are, we can then pitch them in the perfect way, because we now know, okay, this guy is 70. We can tell him that we're into older guys and that he's really turning us on right now. He's from the US, so he's active at this time, and it's most likely settling down for bedtime. So we can pitch him this. He's probably in bed. He's probably by himself. Yeah, you get the idea. So we can kind of frame our sales process around their information. Now, you're best mates with them. So you know everything about them. Again, we can begin to sell them. I kind of just covered that. Scenarios. So now we can kick off a scenario. So an example of a scenario or a script that you want to kick off is maybe I just got out of the shower, in bed watching Netflix, or broke up with boyfriend. These are all kind of either emotive or suggestive topics that you can, on the back end, sell from. So yes, in bed watching Netflix is a very standard thing to do, but in these dirty cunts' mind, they're thinking, fucking hell, she's alone, she's in bed, this is perfect, she's probably naked under the fucking covers, and they start to imagine things instantly from all of these scenarios that I've just put forth. So these ideally will have 5 or 6 images attached to them and ready to go. So for example, for the showers, you start off with obviously a towel wrapped around you or something like this, or just covering the breast area. You can send that for free, ping that off, get them excited, and then when you know they're going to buy, you can start to work down the chain and actually sell them a story. And this way is way more interactive than someone just coming to you and saying, yeah, I want to buy a sex video, because those guys they're just customers, and we'll cover that very soon, but they just know the game. Now, pics. So you can obviously then start selling pictures if they're in the mood. If they don't buy, you've got to question yourself why. So are they just wasting time, or are they truly not in the mood, or did you not warm them up good enough? You know, not everyone's going to come into the account and want to spend money straight away. They're going to want to get to know your model. So if they're not buying content, it could be because of that. But also, if they've been in there for a month, they haven't bought anything, and they're trying to speak to this model 24 hours a day, it's not worth you chatting to them, obviously. Escalation. So a conversation that is successful, you're probably wondering, will bring you in over $100 from different images and videos. So this can obviously accumulate. It doesn't have to be one video just for $100, but a successful conversation, we class as a successful conversation at $100. That's obviously successful. And then you can go into aftercare. So aftercare is very important. A lot of guys will sell to these fucking rats that come into the fan view page. You know, you can get a $500 at once from a conversation from a customer, and then if you just think, oh fucking hell, that's brilliant, he's paid, he's finished, so now I'm just gonna go away and leave him. This is not ideal. You want to kind of speak to him as if he's your fucking pet dog afterwards. Pet him, say like everything's all right, you spent the money. You want to justify his purchase, essentially. You want to let him know that he didn't spend that money for no reason, and that you're going to stick around, you're going to be his girlfriend or whatever the fuck he wants. So the concept of chatting. Now, speed. We can gauge when a customer is ready to spend money instantly when they get into the account. This is obviously due to experience. You're not going to start and then instantly be able to realize this kind of thing. But some guys will come in demanding content straight away, and some guys will never buy content. And it's difficult to kind of gauge those types of things when you first start, but when you get it, you get it. So, a simp. You want them to become a simp. This is basically when they're just in love with your model, they want to talk to your model all the time. All they want to do is fucking talk to this model. And that is essentially a simp. This is when we've got them, and this is when they're going to spend money, because once you're a part of their life that they cannot get rid of, they cannot think of a life without this model, then you fucking got them, and then you can start selling to them. And if not, you can fucking threaten to leave if they don't spend money, whatever. Type. So there's different types of customers that we can classify by. Whales are going to be your fucking top guys. This is where your fucking paycheck's coming from. Whales are going to spend, $300 a pop at least, and they're going to spend frequently. There's your frequent spenders. They may just come in once every week, spend a couple $100, whatever that sound. They may also just spend £10 a day. Either way, they're a frequent spender. They're spending enough money, but they're not quite a whale. Small spenders. These guys, they may just tip on a post or unlock pay-to-view content, whatever. Yeah, these guys are just going to be ticking over. And then it's your straight up customers. These guys, they know the game. They're just going to come in, ask if you've got a menu, or ask if you do this type of content, or ask if you can do a custom. They're straight up customers. They know the game. They know you're not fucking about for a fucking relationship. They're just going to buy content, and these are good ones. Whoops. And also your bad type of, not customers because they're not customers, but your bad type of people that will come onto your fan view account is time wasters and criers. Now your time wasters and criers are kind of difficult to differentiate, but criers can also spend a bit of money, but they're just fucking annoying. Time wasters, they'll never spend money. They're probably from fucking India. They don't have the money to spend. Stop chatting to them. They will bug your model fucking 24 hours a day, but they're time wasters. If they haven't spent in a couple weeks and they've been messaging your model all day every day and they've been pitched 5 times every day, they're time wasting, obviously. And there's your criers. These criers are super sensitive. They're fucking bitches. They probably got 0 testosterone. They just want to cry. They want an excuse to fucking cry like a bitch, and they will do so, and they will let you know that they're crying. Believe me. These guys will basically look for sympathy. If something shit's happened in their day, you're like, oh, some guys will love it, but you'd be like, oh, I'll calm you down with a little picture, send them. They don't buy it. They're fucking shit. They just want to cry for no reason. Fuck them. Now, if you are interested in this business model, or even interested in learning a bit more about the process of how we actually made this amount of money, of course, there's only a certain amount of depth I can go into on YouTube for free. However, we do have a $47 course, cheaper than a fucking night out. Let's be real. A lot of you are probably spending that on a night out very easily. That will be in the description. Literally, go to it. You can buy it, get instant access to a course and a Discord community, most importantly. Community full of guys trying to do this business model the exact same as you and succeeding, most importantly. So, plenty of guys to network with, plenty of friends to be made, and plenty of value from this course you are going to get. So, go down to the description if you're interested and get the course.